When my girlfriend smugly declared that other men found her irresistible and told me to up my game, I took her advice to heart. Within 72 hours, I dismantled her entire lifestyle. 6 credit cards, 3 bills, and 1 lease, all gone. Now she's broke, pleading for my help, but I'm done. She wanted me to step up. I did, just not in the way she expected. Years ago, I was with an ex for 4 years, ready to propose. One night, I caught her kissing another man in a car at a traffic light. 3 days later, I told her I was visiting my brother out of state. I never revealed where he lived. That was 30 years ago, and she still has no clue where I am. She's been married and divorced 3 times since, even cheating on the guy she left me for. Meanwhile, I've been happily married for 22 years. That story stands alone. That guy saw his girlfriend's betrayal, and instead of drama or reconciliation, he vanished. No arguments, no begging, just gone. The result? She's been through 2 more failed marriages, still cheating, while he's thrived in a stable 22-year marriage. The lesson: when someone reveals their true colors, trust them the first time. He didn't need second chances to know she wasn't wife material. His commitment to moving on, never letting her know his whereabouts, shows how to handle betrayal. Cleanly, decisively, permanently. If you've got similar stories, drop them in the comments for my upcoming videos. Now let's dive into my tale, she said. I can't help it if other guys find me irresistible. Maybe you need to raise your game. When I saw her give her number to a stranger, I replied, "You're right." The next day, her name was erased from every bill I paid. Her belongings were packed, her key useless. She called me 23 times in one day. I'm 34, male, and my now ex, Brianna, after 3 years together, told me to step up. So I did. Just not how she imagined. It was Saturday night at Copper Mill, a trendy downtown bar, celebrating her friend Chloe's promotion. The place was buzzing, crowded, good music, drinks flowing. Brianna looked stunning in a red dress that cost more than some people's rent. She always dressed to kill. Around 10 p.m., while I chatted with a guy about football, I spotted Brianna at the bar with a tall, sharply dressed man in his mid-30s, looking like he belonged in a fashion ad. Nothing unusual. She turned heads wherever we went. That's what you get dating someone like her, but then I noticed her laughing, leaning closer, pulling out her phone. She typed something, handed it to him, and he typed back. They pocketed their phones, and she touched his arm, giggling. I strolled over casually. The guy saw me coming and bolted. Smart move. "What was that?" I asked, keeping my tone steady. Brianna turned, smirking. "Oh, just some guy who wanted my number, so I gave it to him." "You gave him your number?" I repeated. She shrugged like it was no big deal. "Albert, I can't control other men wanting me. Maybe you should step up your game." Her tone was smug, entitled, like I should be thrilled to have her. Chloe and 2 friends watched, some looking awkward, others hiding smirks. "You're right," I said. "I should step up." She grinned, thinking she'd won. "Glad you get it," she said. I grabbed my coat and left. She called after me, but I kept walking. She'd figure it out soon enough. Update 1. Sunday morning, I woke with clarity. Time to step up, as Brianna suggested. I reviewed our setup. My apartment, my lease, my name only. She'd moved in 18 months ago, but dodged signing the lease, claiming it was too much hassle. Her mistake. Legally, though, she had tenant rights after staying so long. I couldn't just kick her out without proper notice. So I got creative. I started with her financial lifeline. Her car lease was in her name, but I'd been covering payments for a year because she claimed she was strapped. I called the leasing company and stopped payments, effective immediately. They'd contact her about arrangements. Next, her phone. She was on my family plan, saving her $60 a month. I called the carrier and cut her line, effective in 3 days. Then car insurance. She was listed as a driver on my policy, but her car wasn't covered. I removed her as an authorized driver. Credit cards were next. She had access to 2 of my accounts for emergencies. I called both banks, revoked her access, and canceled the cards. They'd be useless in 24 hours. Gym membership, same deal. She used my family plan. I canceled her access instantly. The apartment was trickier due to tenant rights. I couldn't change locks or toss her stuff without legal steps, but I could plan. I rented a storage unit for 6 months, paid up front, and wrote her a formal letter. Our relationship was over. I'd no longer fund her lifestyle, and she had 30 days to find a new place per the law. I left the letter on the kitchen counter for her to find when she got home. Update 2. Brianna stumbled in at 7 p.m. Sunday, still in her bar outfit, looking hungover. She saw the letter, read it, and her face cycled through confusion, anger, disbelief, panic, then anger again. "Albert, what is this?" she yelled, waving the paper. "A 30-day notice to vacate." I said calmly. Also, I'm no longer paying for any of your expenses. You can't be serious. Dead serious, Brianna. You told me to step up my game, so I evaluated. I've been bankrolling someone who hands out her number to strangers and says I'm not good enough. That's not what I meant, she snapped. That's exactly what you meant, I replied. You said other men find you irresistible. So go be irresistible on someone else's budget. An hour later, her credit card was declined for food delivery. She tried the second card, same result. Then the calls started. Albert, my cards aren't working, she said when I picked up. That's right, you're no longer authorized on my accounts. How am I supposed to eat, to live? Like adults do, Brianna, use your own money. She hung up, called back. I sent it to voicemail update 3. Monday morning, reality hit. The leasing company called her about the overdue car payment, threatening repossession by Wednesday. She rushed to me. Albert, they'll take my car if I don't pay. Then pay it, I said. With what money? You know I don't have that saved. That's a budgeting issue, Brianna, not my problem. You've been paying it for a year, you can't just stop. Actually, I can. Watch me. She spent Monday begging friends for cash. Chloe loaned her enough for the car payment, but made it clear it was a one-time deal. Tuesday, her phone was cut off. She called from Chloe's phone. Albert, my phone's dead. You're off my plan, get your own. How, without money? Figure it out, maybe one of your admirers can help. Wednesday, she tried a new tactic. Security at my office called. There was a woman in the lobby. I went down and saw Brianna frantic. Albert, please, I can't afford this on my own, you know that. You told me to step up, Brianna. This is me stepping up. I was drunk, I was stupid Saturday night. You were honest for once, telling me what you really think. That's not true. You said other men find you irresistible. Mission accomplished. I walked back to my office, leaving her in the lobby update 4. A week later, Brianna was crashing with Chloe, burning through her savings to maintain her lifestyle. Losing her gym membership hit hard. She went daily to be seen. Chloe called me Thursday, exasperated. Albert, this is ridiculous. Brianna's driving me nuts, refusing to find her own place, obsessed with fixing things with you. There's nothing to fix, Chloe. She told me what she thinks of me. It was one dumb comment. I'm not destroying her life, Chloe. I'm just not funding it. There's a difference. You're being spiteful. I'm being logical. Why bankroll someone who thinks other men are better? Friday, Brianna tried entering the apartment building but was stopped by the front desk. They called me. She claimed she lived there. She's a guest who's moving out, I said. Don't let her up without my permission. Monday, her mom, Diane, called. Albert, this is out of control. Brianna's falling apart. You need to fix this. Diane, your daughter said other men find her irresistible and I should step up. I stepped up by stepping away. She made a mistake. Some mistakes have bigger consequences, Diane. I don't fund people who flirt with strangers. Update 5. 2 weeks in, Brianna's 30-day notice was half over and she hadn't found a place. She was couch surfing, wearing out her welcome with Chloe and others. In a desperate move, she showed up at the apartment with a locksmith, claiming she'd lost her key. The building manager called me first. Don't let them in, I said. She's not a resident and I didn't authorize a locksmith. The locksmith refused to proceed without my approval and left. Brianna called, furious. Albert, my stuff's in there. I have a right to it. You have a right to collect it with notice during reasonable hours. Text me a time. She hung up, then texted, asking for Wednesday evening. I agreed. Wednesday, she arrived with Chloe and a small moving truck. It took 3 hours to pack her things. I watched to ensure nothing of mine was taken but stayed out of their way. Brianna stood in the empty bedroom, stunned. Albert, this doesn't have to end. We can fix this. You told me to step up, Brianna. This is what that looks like. Find someone who thinks you're worth fighting for. Chloe drove off with Brianna and her belongings. I changed the locks that night, just in case. Final update. A month later, stepping up my game has paid off, not just for me, but in teaching Brianna how the world works. She found a studio apartment across town, but her parents had to co-sign because her credit was too weak. Chloe says she's working extra hours to cover bills she didn't realize I paid. Car, phone, insurance, gym, streaming services. Being irresistible doesn't pay the rent. She's reached out through friends, apologizing, claiming she's learned her lesson, begging for another chance. My response? She got what she asked for. Her Saturday night jab was meant to make me chase her, prove my worth. Instead, it showed me mine, and I stopped funding someone who didn't value it. Chloe quit mediating when she saw Brianna wasn't solving her problems, just looking for someone else too. Her friends are tired of her whining about costs. Last week, I saw her at the grocery store, clutching coupons, anxiously counting items. She waved hesitantly. I nodded politely and moved on. No drama, just two strangers who once knew each other. Oh, and the guy from the bar. He never called. Chloe said he was married, just collecting numbers for fun. Brianna waited by her phone for days while I was busy stepping up by cutting off support for someone who thought I wasn't enough. She wanted me to compete, fight for her attention, prove her allure. Instead, she learned some men don't play that game. They walk away, letting others handle their own lives. The takeaway: when someone tells you to step up, take it seriously. Stepping up might mean walking away from those who don't value what you bring. Brianna's learning to be irresistible on her own dime. I'm stepping up my game in ways she never saw coming, by refusing to fund someone who thought other men were more intriguing. Sometimes, the best revenge is simply stopping the support you gave out of kindness and letting others face their own responsibilities.
Thank you for watching my story. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Stay tuned for more real-life stories, get more experiences. Your support and insights helped me realize I wasn't being unreasonable and gave me the courage to trust my gut.